Remember the 4 short months the UNC had Brent Sancho in the Senate? In that time, just before the 2015 election, Brent Sancho used his parliamentarian status to buy a tax-free car. He chose a $657,000 Audi Q7. Thanks to his tax savings, he paid nearly half the price. In September 2015, Torel Shrikesoon became an independent senator. In the 3 months before the year ended, Senator Shrikesoon decided he wanted a tax-free car. The price tag on his BMW was $1.2 million. He saved nearly $600,000 in taxes. The Salaries Review Commission has long allowed many categories of public officers, including all parliamentarians, to buy personal vehicles without paying tax. 2 Benzes in 2 years. Did you buy any other cars after that?
Yes, a Honda Accord.
Okay, so 3 cars in 5-6 years?
Because you are entitled to 1 car
every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
But with at least $29 million in tax forsaken on at least 113 cars in a 9-year span, the SRC said the tax breaks are out of control. In its 98th report in 2014, the SRC said the motor vehicle allowance given to many office holders has become extremely generous. It added, the result is that it is possible for the holders of certain offices to enjoy exemptions from duty and taxes and customs duty in particular, totaling several $100,000 on a single vehicle. The SRC tried to rein in the runaway tax breaks by recommending caps. For parliamentarians, the total exemption limit was a suggested $173,000 per car. Parliamentarians wouldn't stand for it. The Express reported back in 2014 that parliamentarians from both parties criticized the recommendation, saying it would cut back on what they considered an already inadequate compensation package. The report also recommended higher salaries for non-cabinet MPs. None of the report was ever implemented. Now in 2017, government is asking corporations, banks and car buyers to pay higher taxes to make up revenue. They've said TNT should adopt its own austerity measures before the IMF imposes them. Should parliamentarians adopt the SRC's recommendation and cap tax breaks they use to buy luxury cars? I think the question is,
what
really,
about people who don't buy luxury
sacrifices, why not put limits on the exemption?
Well, that is a matter for the SRC. So let the SRC deal with it.
They did recommend it in 2014.
And we did not accept it.
Exactly. So
right?
Is it time to revisit that and accept
Let
it?
the SRC do its work, Faine.
But they did, and it was rejected.
Right?
So should the
We also rejected anything else.
I would be very interested in looking at a revision given the economic circumstances and so on, given a revision to all terms and conditions of cabinet ministers and, might I add, members of parliament, and might I add, the office of the prime minister and the office of the president as well.
Are you saying that we are breaking the law?
No, absolutely not breaking
the law. So what is your objection to the MP purchasing a vehicle which is lawful?
The SRC saying they try to rein
what is your objection to an
exemption?
MP buying a vehicle every 2 years which is law? Are we breaking any laws?
A luxury vehicle to take advantage
because
of
it does not say,
exemption.
okay, so do you think we should say you should only buy a Mazda?
But why not make sacrifices that you're asking the population to make at this time?
MPs make sacrifices all the time. Our salaries were cut 5% last year when the Prime Minister said all MPs should give 5% of their salaries to charity. We have been doing that for 2 years now.
Is this the time now, considering what people are being asked to do, pay higher taxes, dig deeper, to put those limits on the allowances?
I don't know what the SRC will recommend on this occasion. No report has come forward to us as yet, and we'll see what happens.
But if it was at the Parliament's ability to reject that part of the report 3 years ago, there's no guarantee a new recommendation would be followed.
Well, I can't say. I'm not the only member of Parliament. I'm only the leader of the House.
But you can have an opinion on whether you think it's time to put
I'm
caps
only the
on
leader of the House.
The salary of a parliamentarian is not high. I mean, I'll be quite frank with you. The total amount that you get after taxes is about $13,000. I've been quite frank with you. A minister gets about $50,000 when you add all the allowances that are available. But compared to the fact that you have people who have no income at all because they have no jobs, or people who have jobs on whom now you're going to have a situation in which you're going to have less disposable income.
They may deem the salary inadequate, but the SRC says the transportation portion of a parliamentarian's benefits package is virtually unmatched in the entire Commonwealth. The SRC said in its 80th report that most other Commonwealth countries do not give parliamentarians a tax exemption on personal vehicles and a vehicle loan from the state and a transportation allowance. It's usually one or the other. The SRC concluded it appears that Trinidad and Tobago is unique in its provisions for transportation benefits. Then there's the question of what happens to these tax-free vehicles. How many cars have you bought in the last 10 years or so using these exemptions?
Well, I mean, I didn't research it before meeting you,
But
I'm sure
they were your
about 5, I think.
About 5.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
have you done with all of them? Have you kept all? Have you transferred
I've
ownership, given them to family?
I've kept a few vehicles, as you know, in this country. As soon as 2 years or 3 years pass, and there's a reality, you see, as 2 year, 3 year pass with high-end vehicles, they start getting sick. And
really, high-end vehicles get sick so soon?
Yeah.
Most people are forced to keep their vehicles for 5, 7, 8
no, I know.
years.
And before I was a member of Parliament, I'll let you know, I kept a vehicle for 8 years.
But is there a thriving trade among parliamentarians where they are transferring ownership of these vehicles to friends and family and then turning around and getting another one with the exemption?
I will not know of that, but what I can tell you,
You're in Parliament, you
no,
have
but what I
parliamentarian
can tell you is that we get rid of cars also, because do you know how much it is to fix and repair a BMW or a Porsche or so on? It's an enormous amount of money.
In 2013, the Express reported that former Attorney General Anand Ramlogan sold his Range Rover to a high-profile businessman and didn't transfer official ownership of the car right away. Our Freedom of Information request asked for details on the transfer history of tax-free vehicles bought by parliamentarians. The Ministry of Finance and the Parliament said the information was not stored at their offices. We sent a request to the licensing office and we're awaiting their response. Faine Richards, TV6 News.